Hi, I'm Adam.
And I'm Joe.
And together, shut up down there. We're recording our podcast. We're the Maladjusted Misfits.
And this is the one where we talk about friends. Don't make me come down there. Hi, Adam.
Hi, Joe.
How are you?
Okay. How was your week?
Busy. Not quite as busy as the last week, but still busy. Yeah. Those are not fun.
Yeah, you got some lag time coming up soon, right?
Yeah. But it's so busy that on the weekends I just like a vegetable.
Right.
I did get dressed and go out on Saturday, but Sunday, I don't think I did get dressed.
We had a lot to do in the house on Sunday.
Yeah. The dogs get their every 6-week haircut. So usually the week that I get my haircut, the pups get their haircut.
It'd be nice if it was only every 6 weeks. It's like every 2 or 3.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Seems like every 6 weeks.
No, it doesn't.
That's because you're the one cutting them.
Yeah.
You used to be a groomer before you became a podcaster.
I'm all about the fancy stuff. All right, what are we doing this week?
All right. This is the one.
The one where Mr. Heckles dies.
Yes. What's our IMDb plot?
Okay, spoiler alert, Mr. Heckles dies and leaves all of his possessions to Monica and Rachel. Chandler worries that he will die alone, just like Mr. Heckles.
Aww.
Meanwhile, Rachel and Monica argue over a lamp. Phoebe and Ross argue over evolution.
Uh-oh. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right. Our episode director was Kevin Bright.
Aw.
He's one of our series executive producers.
Kevin Bright. And it's important as a director to always be looking on the bright side.
He directed 2 episodes in season 2 and a total of 52 episodes across the series.
Goodness.
Yeah. He also directed some Joey episodes and Man with a Plan with Matt LeBlanc.
Ooh, so that him and LeBlanc get along.
Yes, he followed him. We have 2 episode writers this week. We have Michael Curtis and Greg Mullins.
Okay.
I don't think we've had them before.
I don't think so. It doesn't sound familiar.
So Michael Curtis wrote a total of 8 episodes.
Okay.
And was story editor or got story by or teleplay by credits for a few others.
Okay.
So I looked it up because I was like, what the hell does that mean?
Right.
So you get story by credit when you come up with a bare bones idea with minimal dialogue.
Right.
Usually just a treatment, so 3 to 4 pages.
Right. Sometimes it's even less than that.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's like...
What if Mr. Heckles dies?
Right. Well, I was thinking a movie sometime that's like story by Eddie Murphy. Because he was like, this would be a funny story. And then somebody else went and wrote it.
Got it. So a teleplay credit goes to the person who expanded the story into a script.
Mm-hmm.
And if you came up with the original story idea and wrote the script, then you get the all-encompassing written by credit.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
I know. And that cleared up a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Anytime you can clarify the terms and define them, it helps clear things up.
And then Greg Mullins wrote 11 episodes. He also wrote for Will and Grace, How I Met Your Mother, and 2 Broke Girls.
Nice.
Nice. So when was the original air date?
Okay, our original air date was October 5th, 1995. Mm-hmm. The number 1 song was whatever Mariah Carey song I said last week. But other songs on the top Billboard were Seal's Kiss from a Rose,
Ooh.
Hootie and the Blowfish, I Only Want to Be With You.
That's the only Hootie and the Blowfish song I know.
You probably know a couple others. And Looney's I Got 5 on It, which was used wonderfully in the Jordan Peele's movie Us.
That was very good.
And the number 1 movie was, it was 7 again.
Okay.
So I kind of looked on the chart to see what else was on there, too. Mm-hmm. And we had To Die For.
Oh, that one's really good.
Showgirls.
Not so good.
And Babe.
Aw.
A little something for everybody.
Moms, dads, and kids.
Right.
All right. Are you ready for some trivia?
That'll do, pig.
I don't know how to take that, but I'm gonna do my trivia anyway. All right, so this is the first appearance of Mr. Trigger, who is played wonderfully by Mike Haggerty.
Yes.
Sadly passed away in 2022.
Right, and I read that too when I was doing my notes.
Right.
And I was like, okay, next podcast, we're doing a newer series. Because this is 30 years ago. Every other person's dead. It bums me out.
It does. Well, this one's happier, okay?
Okay.
All right. In real life, Maggie Wheeler, who plays Janice, was 8 months pregnant with her first child at the time of the taping of the episode.
Aww.
She told the producers at the end of her appearances on season 1 that she was pregnant and assumed she would not be called back. But they were all too delighted to add it to this episode.
I bet they were.
And then Monica and Chandler will have a similar argument in the one with Ross's denial as Monica and Rachel in this episode. In both plot lines, Monica is refusing to let Rachel/Chandler furnish the apartment with their own items.
Yes.
She is like very stuck in her way.
Right. She likes her stuff.
She does.
And she's very particular about what gets put in her apartment.
The magazines that Joey carries out are copies of the National Geographic.
Mm-hmm.
So Mr. Heckles and Nana both had National Geographics. It must be an old person thing.
Or they just still have them sitting there in the set from the last time.
What are they going to carry out of our house?
Pop vinyls. And...
Mostly, yeah. DVDs, Blu-rays. All right. And at the beginning, the gang implies that women don't have Adam's apples, right?
Yes.
Actually called a laryngeal prominence.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, everyone has one. Because without an Adam's apple, you wouldn't be able to talk as it protects your vocal cords.
Well, I guess that goes to show you don't get all your science information from sitcoms.
However, in males, high testosterone during puberty makes the Adam's apple grow at a 90-degree angle, which makes it pop out.
Oh.
Wow. Remember when the boy kid was like mid-teens and I was like, what is wrong with his neck?
Yeah.
And you were like, that's his Adam's apple. I was like, Jesus Christ. It's like head and then Adam's apple. All right. What were your episode reactions?
I really like most of the episode. Chandler's turn at an existential crisis and ensuing Janice developments are all great.
Yes.
I'm a little mad they killed off Mr. Heckles.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a fun character. They could have made up somebody else because I really like having Mr. Heckles pop up every now and then. And Rachel and her lamp are fun. And I like that the group gets away with murder. But I'm not allowed to talk about Phoebe that much during this particular episode.
Adam gets very upset about the whole evolution storyline with Phoebe, so I got all those scenes. I like this episode. I agree. Mr. Heckles was fun, and I would have liked to see him come back like Janice, pop up every now and then.
Right.
He had some great one-liners, so it was like really weird that they killed him off right away.
Yeah.
And I love Janice comes back. And as she predicted, Chandler said she would call her Janice. I do like Chandler's crisis of identity during this episode. It's what all 25, 30-year-olds go through. Well, most of them. And Adam gets a little angry, like I said, about Phoebe. So I'll take those scenes. It's okay.
Well, that sounds good to me. So what's your favorite line in this week's episode, Joe?
My favorite line is Rachel, when Monica tells her she's allergic to shellfish, and she goes, well, you'll just have to eat the other lambs.
So my favorite line this week is, supposedly? Supposedly? Did they go to the zoo? Supposedly.
All right, my favorite moment was Chandler with the broom and realizing that he's banging on the ceiling in Mr. Heckles' apartment. He's like, ah!
My favorite moment is the Janice reveal. It's pretty great. He's so excited. I called Janice. I'm gonna not die alone.
She's the
26. One. She's the one. Oh wait, she's married and pregnant. Damn it.
All right, favorite outfits. There wasn't a lot this week that I liked, but I think it's at the end. I like Monica's. She has like a navy blue cardigan and jeans on, but it's only buttoned in the middle. You know, like the top's unbuttoned, the bottom's unbuttoned.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, I think she looks cute, and obviously you do too.
Yeah. I went with Rachel's little black and gray dress and white sneakers, that she's wearing when she murders Mr. Heckles.
You're sticking with that theory, huh?
It's a cute outfit.
Okay.
Cute murder look.
All right, themes we explored this episode. Theme number 1, death.
Death.
Yeah.
Theme number 2, knowing who you are.
Yep. Theme 3, a little bit of a revenge.
Yeah, a little bit of a revenge story going on in there. And theme number 4, the failures of the American educational curriculum.
And that's all you have to say. All right, we're going to take a quick break before we break down the episode.
Janice was my safety net, okay? And now I have to get a snake. If I'm going to be an old, lonely man, I'm going to need a thing. A hook. Like that guy in the subway who eats his own face. So I figure I'll be crazy man with a snake, Crazy snake man. Then I'll get more snakes. Call them my babies. Kids won't walk past my place. They will run. Run away from crazy snake man, thou shalt.
I love his little mini breakdown. All right, we're back.
We are back.
All right, we open at Monica and Rachel's apartment.
Yes, we do.
And all 6 friends are there.
And can you tell me what they're doing, Joe?
Playing poker.
Oh, my goodness.
Which we thought we would never see again, but here it is.
Oh, yeah.
So
hopefully the stakes aren't as high this time.
Yeah, they're all over that now. Chandler walks in, and Mon asks how his date with Joan was. And he says without missing a beat, I broke up with her. Ross admonishes him, saying, please don't say it's because of the big nostril thing.
They were huge. When she sneezed, bats flew out of them.
Rachel says they were not that huge, and Chandler begs to differ. He says when she leaned back, he could see her brain.
Oh, that's pretty bad.
Really? So Monica jumps on him for breaking up with everyone over superficial, insignificant things.
Yes.
But Joey agrees with Chandler, saying that when he moved to the city, and I assume he means Manhattan because he's from Queens.
Right.
Anyhow, that he met a girl, great kisser, but biggest Adam's apple.
But it's Joey's apple.
And I love this part because Chandler turns to Ross and goes, you or me?
You or me. We got to explain this.
I got it. And he proceeds to tell Joey that women don't have Adam's apples. And then the girls all lean their heads back. Except Rachel.
I mean, I thought that was weird. I mean, what's she hiding? A teeny weeny?
According to Will, she is. So Joey thinks they're messing with him, and they agree to spare his feelings. So Joey says, for a minute there, I was like, whoa.
Whoa. You kissed the guy, man.
They make fun of Chandler for doing it.
Yeah. Then the next scene, we're at Monica and Rachel's, all 6 still. And it's just the same day, a little bit later.
Right.
And Phoebe wants to know the last time Chandler broke up with a woman for a real reason. And Chandler offers up the name Maureen Rossillo. Is that right? Rossillo?
Sure. That sounds good.
Yeah. Sounds like a Ross monster. Ross says because she didn't hate Yanni is not a real reason. Now, I was brought up that hate was a strong term, and you should not hate anybody.
Right.
But that didn't take. So I'm kind of with Chandler. I mean, hating Yanni might be a little too much.
Right.
But there are some unnamed people out there who we both hate.
Sure.
And if you did not hate them, I think it would bother me.
Yeah, we talk about that a lot.
Probably more than we should.
We're not haters, though.
No, not in general.
No.
Just every now and then there's that person.
Yeah.
But in the show, there's a knock at the door. And it's Mr. Heckles, played by Larry Hankin.
Yep.
Standing in a bathrobe. And this will be the last time we see him.
Aw.
I can only assume that he took credit for writing his funnier lines last season and the writers are exacting their revenge.
He writes his own lines, does he?
Well, Mr. H tells our group of innocent-looking friends that they're doing it again. They claim they aren't doing anything, and from the looks of them, they aren't.
Right.
But he is adamant that they are stomping and disturbing his birds.
You don't have birds.
I could have birds. Monica, looking for a way to get the creeper out of her doorway, promises to keep it down. Or is she just waiting for the right moment to take out an old man?
Aww.
Satisfied, Mr. Heckles announces he's going to rejoin his dinner party.
Alrighty, bye-bye.
Chandler immediately then argues for Janice. They all agree Janice was dumped for good reasons and is undeserving of love.
Aww.
Phoebe says she misses Janice. Hello, Chandler Bing. Rachel joins in the imitating with, oh my God. And then Joey says,
Oh, Chandler, now, that's it, there, faster.
and then he turns around to find the rest of the friends staring at him. It is even more disturbing when you do it. So Monica starts to walk across the room. Then there's pounding from below. Mm-hmm. It's Mr. Heckles again. Doing that neighbor thing you do when people are being too loud.
Yeah.
So realizing they've upset Mr. Heckles again, they try to be quieter. Just kidding. Monica yells through the floor and then stomps. And he booms back with the broom. Mm-hmm. Now Rachel joins in the stomping. But you can tell the studio floor is so solid because the two small women are barely making any noise, which I think is very cute.
I hope they didn't have to take too many takes. That would hurt your feet.
Right, just stomping on concrete over and over. But then all six friends join in the stomping merriment to shut that old fucker up. The question being, did they intend to shut him up for good?
Oh.
It is silent. They claim victory with cheerings and high fives. Only to groan at the smash cut revealing Mr. Heckles' dead body.
Aww.
And then it's Rachel Green, expertly feigning her innocence, who asks Mr. Trigger, what happened? As if they all don't know. Mr. Trigger guesses that Mr. Heckles must have been sweeping because he had a broom in his hand. And he was worried because he was sweeping yesterday and it could have been him.
Yeah, you never know.
But our friends now have their first victim. Or is this just the first we know about? Join me for my solo podcast, Your Love Life's DOA, where I dive into the other possible victims this set of friends has left behind. What was the true fate of Paul the Wine Guy? Was Nana's cause of death really natural causes both times? And how many Marcels were there?
Nope. You're not doing that. Just stop.
I'm determined.
No. I'll make you chocolate chip cookies later.
Deal.
Although, remember, they hear that guy upstairs making noise because he removed his carpet, and then we never heard of him again?
That's right.
No. Cookies. Nestle Dollhouse.
It's going on the list.
So we're back at Monica and Rachel's, and all six friends are there.
Yep.
It's the next day or something. Mm-hmm. Phoebe can still sense a heckling presence in the building.
That just might be me.
Maybe. She screams, "Go into the light, Mr. Heckles!" And they all almost spit their coffee and cheese out. And she explains that sometimes they need help.
Right. Well, two things.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, he has the right to ignore the light if he so chooses. And number two, this episode is a big one in my theory that Phoebe just likes fucking with people. So her scaring everybody and spitting their drinks out is exhibit A. But we're going to get to other evidence later in the episode, so pin in that for later. Just keep it in the back of your mind. We'll get there when we get there.
All right. Blah, blah, blah. Although, I was getting my hair done on Saturday, and my friends from work got me a Friends purse. So it's got Friends-themed stuff on it.
Right.
And every time I carry it, it sparks a lot of conversation. And then I start talking about our podcast. So I share, we have a podcast. And so she asked me who my favorite character was. And I said Chandler, of course. And she agreed, but she said they were all phenomenal actors. So we were talking a little bit. And then she turned to me and said, although I think Phoebe was kind of off. And I told her your theory that she was fucking with people. And she was like, yes, that's it. So you might have another conspiracy theorist on your side.
Yes.
The lady from the hairdressing place.
They are falling like dominoes.
All right. So anyhow, Phoebe goes on to tell the gang that there are a lot of things that she doesn't believe in, but that doesn't mean that they're not true, such as crop circles, the Bermuda Triangle.
Not true.
Which, when you were a kid, it seemed like the quicksand and Bermuda Triangles were going to be a bigger problem than they actually were.
Right.
And then she says, or evolution. Ross shuts that down, and he moves the bagels away from her.
Yep.
Phoebe says, monkey, Darwin, it's a nice story, but a little too easy, and everybody looks uncomfortable.
Right.
Millions of years from single-celled organisms is too easy, Ross says.
Right.
Phoebe says she just doesn't buy it. And Ross reminds her there's nothing to buy. It's a scientific fact, like gravity. And then she goes on to explain that she doesn't feel pulled so much as she feels pushed. And then someone knocks at the door and Chan quips, uh-oh, it's Isaac Newton, and he's pissed.
Right. And when we were just watching it, we watched the DVDs, and one of the cut lines that they had was Chandler says, quick, Phoebe, hop up on the ceiling.
Because of Isaac Newton.
Right. And gravity's not real.
That's right. So enter Mr. Trigger and Buddy Boyle, who's played by Danny Dayton.
Ooh.
He was in Get Smart, Sanford and Son, Gomer Pyle, The Love Boat, and 8 is Enough. But he's Mr. Heckles' lawyer.
That's right. And nothing but the best for Mr. Heckles.
So Heckles left everything to the noisy girls in the apartment above his. And Mon says, what about his family?
He didn't have any.
Reach says, okay, let's talk money.
All right, there was none.
So Monica is noisy girl number 1, and Rach is noisy girl number 2. And Heckles must have written his will recently, unless he counts Phoebe living there with Monica as previously noisy girl.
Right.
Because otherwise, he would have had to wait until Rachel moved in. Anyway.
He updated it. It's like every 6 months. He probably updates it daily.
Right.
He calls this guy all the time.
Poor attorney. So Monica assumes that Mr. Heckles liked them, so he left them everything.
Aww.
Second smash cut of the episode. The apartment is a hoarder's paradise.
Yes.
And Joey wants the magnifying glass on wheels.
Yeah. I like the idea of leaving stuff to people you don't like.
Yeah.
Like if I leave all my half-empty paint cans and my used and the used cat litter to and his whole fucking family.
I don't think you can say that.
Oh, fine. I'll bleep it or whatever. We mustn't upset.
All right, so Ross and Phoebe argue some more about evolution. And Ross explains fossils, to which Phoebe replies, who do you think put them there and why?
Right. And I think my parents had one of the same seagull drywood pieces of crap when I was little that Ross is handling in this part.
Kidding. That's so funny.
I think it was like a Jonathan Livingston Seagull kind of thing.
We have to watch that movie sometime.
Oh. Ooh, I don't know.
You made me watch, what was that, Weekend at Bernie's. All right. Anyway.
Right, but it's seriously just footage of seagulls flying
Oh my
around.
gosh.
That's all it is.
And voiceovers?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right. So anyhow, Chandler finds Heckles' big book of grievances. April 17th, excessive noise. Italian guy comes home with a date.
Noisy.
April 18th, excessive noise. Italian guy's gay roommate comes home with dry cleaning.
Poor Chandler.
So Rachel finds a really tacky lamp. She wants to put in the apartment along with maybe the naked Barbie girly clock.
Yeah. You think Phoebes would want the lamp.
I know,
It
really?
seems like a very Phoebe collection of goods.
And based on Rachel's style and upbringing, I find it odd that she likes this lamp and
Right.
Girly dog clock, but whatever. All right, so Monica says it doesn't go with any of her stuff.
My things and stuff.
And Rachel says, what about my stuff? And she goes, you don't have any stuff.
Yeah.
And then there was a cut line. And Rachel goes, well, this will be the start of my stuff.
That's not really where you want to start.
And then Rachel goes, you still think of it as your apartment, and I just run a room. And Monica goes, no. And she some more, and Rachel says, while you're I'm going to find a place for my new land. Then Ross comes over and starts explaining opposable thumbs and argues more about evolution with Phoebes.
Mm-hmm.
Phoebe says, why can't you believe in something and I don't?
Right. And then there's a cut line where Ross says, no, it's like math. 1 + 1 is 2. I can't stand by and let you think that it might equal 3 or 4 or yellow.
I do like that. 1 + 1 is yellow. So Phoebe argues that he is obsessed with people agreeing with him, and it's time to put him under the microscope. He asks Chandler if his ears are bleeding, and he can't take it anymore, and he leaves.
It's best to just walk away.
So Joey finds Heckles' yearbook. And Phoebe goes, oh, he's kind of normal and kind of cute looking. And they read some of the inscriptions. And Heckles was class clown. And so was Chandler. But then you hear stomping upstairs.
Yeah.
Heckles played clarinet in band. I also played clarinet. Do you think Chandler played the clarinet in their band? Way, no way.
You would have clarinet solos.
Right? And then he goes, he was in the Scale Modelers Club, and I wasn't, but I thought it was pretty cool. And then Chandler tries to explain to Joey and Phoebe the similarities between he and Heckles. Heckles and me and Heckles. But he keeps getting distracted by the stomping. And then he grabs the broom and bangs it on the ceiling.
So, scene 3, or whatever. We're in Mr. Heckles' apartment still, and it's just Chandler.
All by himself.
Yeah. And we open back up on Chandler, looking dazed, sitting among the remnants of Mr. Heckles' hoarding problems, and that bluesy guitar music that Joe thinks is a banjo is playing.
That's not the part I think is a banjo.
That's what you always say is a banjo. Oh my God, now I don't even know what you think a banjo is. So Joey comes in and asks Chandler if he's been there all night.
He has old-timey boxing gloves on his shoulder. Did you see that?
Yeah. So Chandler's gone deep into lunatic land, obsessing over similarities between Mammon Edgar Heckles and himself.
Oh my God.
He beckons Joey to look at what the dead man wrote on photos of women he dated. Big gums, too tall, too smart. Okay, I may be a weirdo, but too smart's not a thing.
Yeah, no.
Too dumb is a thing.
Right.
Too smart, not a thing. Makes noises when she eats. Joe, are you Mr. Heckles? If you are, you have to tell me. It's like being an undercover cop.
No, I'm not Mr. Heckles.
Okay. Chandler has gone full manana. And he thinks he is going to end up alone based on all this new evidence he found in Mr. Heckles' apartment.
Aww.
Joey tries to reason with him. Okay, your first clue you have gone too far is Joey Tribbiani is trying to reason with you.
He's trying to talk you out of it.
He tells him Mr. Heckles was a nutcase, and that he made every woman he dated pose for a photo with a camera he brought with him on first dates. This is weird. It's a lot weirder than Chandler's thinking that it is.
I assume they were high school pictures. You know, when you used to, like, give people high school pictures. Do they still do that?
Well, you're thinking that because of the high school
yearbook
yeah.
Oh, okay.
that they just talked about. I'm imagining Heckles dating throughout his entire lifetime, taking pictures of everybody he ever went on a date with. Chandler insists that their trains are on the same track, and he is coming up 30 years behind the guy, but all the stops are the same.
Bittertown, Aloneville, Hermit Junction,
Solitary City,
Deserted Desert,
Lonesome Dove.
Ooh, that's a good one. Wait, is he saying Mr. Heckles was in his 50s?
I didn't even think about that.
Because if Chandler's like 26, 27, and
Right.
he's 30 years behind him, come on, he's got to be older than 56 or 57.
I don't know. It's Mr. Heckles.
He aged terribly.
Right. Joey's like, I need you to get out of the pit of despair.
Aw.
He offers to buy Chandler breakfast. Joey will pay. Chandler, please, recognize the red flags.
Right.
But no, Chandler wants to know if he will ever find somebody. It seems very important that he finds out right now. Or he wants to know if he found them, but dumped them for pronouncing it supposedly. Which I had a boss that said supposedly on like a daily basis. It was pretty funny.
It is one of the lines we say a lot in the Misfit house.
Yes, we do say and we always do it supposedly.
Supposedly.
Supposedly. Joey tries to reassure Chandler that he will find somebody. But Chandler's dubious. How exactly does Joey know that? How? It's like Chandler 26. Take a breath, man.
Right.
But Chandler is sure the rest will go off and get married, and he will remain alone. So he has lowered the bar, and now he just wants to be invited over for holidays. But Joey won't even make that commitment. Because, hey, they could be going over to her folks' place. It's so mean, but it's so funny.
That little scenario they have back and forth.
Yeah. I like that he's like, please invite me. No, I don't know.
What if my wife doesn't want you?
Then Joey says the Super Bowl every year. Know your audience, Joe.
Yeah, we all know Chandler likes the parades, not football.
That's right. Chandler leaves promising he won't end up like this. And then that's when Joey starts packing the crap and says, supposedly? Supposedly. Did they go to the zoo? Supposedly. Upstairs in his own apartment, Chandler dials a number and says, it's me. And then we see Janice answer and say,
oh my God.
All right, so now we're in Central Perk again with all 6 friends. They are super hanging out together this week. Phoebe is shocked to hear that Chandler called Janice. They're all shocked. Ross asks if Chandler remembers Janice. I mean, she was the one ex that they all agreed was cool that he broke up with him. And then that's the one he called. Doesn't make a lot of sense. But Janice, like, she's smart, she's pretty, she cared about me. Janice, according to him, is the very last chance, the apex, the zenith, the absolutely last of the line, final ditch. Oh, God, here she is, and she's pregnant.
Chandler goes, oh my God.
He does, but his face reads more, what the fuck? And our little friend group is stunned into complete silence, except for Joey, who thinks Janice has gotten fat. It's cute that she was really 8 months pregnant.
Yeah, I thought that was so adorable.
Because she looked pretty cute in her little dress.
She did.
Chandler's staring at her, and he's like, Janice, you're... And he's motioning that she's pregnant. And she agrees and goes, yes, I am. And he's stunned, and he's kind of like, is it mine? And she's like, ha! You wish, Chandler Bing! And then she goes on to break the news that not only is she preggers, but also married.
Oh, yeah.
Chandler offers up his congrats, but questions why she could not have mentioned this over the phone. But she was excited to see the look on his face, and she laughs and laughs.
And everybody remembers why he broke up with her.
Right. All 3 times.
Yes, right.
So I'm kind of glad that she's taking her
Right.
amusement where she can.
All right, we're back to Monica and Rachel's.
Yes.
And Rachel's fondling her gross old man lamp.
Yeah, you don't want to touch that any more than you need to. You don't know where Mr. Heckles has been.
Right, or where he got it. Ugh. Anyway, Monica says, you know what we haven't played in a while? Hide the lamp.
Oh,
And
I
then
like to play hide the lamp.
she says she's... I don't know what that means. Oh, I lost my place.
It doesn't mean anything.
Okay. And then she says, did you know I was allergic to shellfish? And Rachel says, my favorite line, well, then you'll just have to eat the other lamps. And then there's a crazy speech because Ross comes in with his briefcase of facts. And he and Phoebe argue more about evolution, citing that scientists once thought the world was flat. Unfortunately, some people still do.
Oh, poor people.
And that the atom was the smallest thing until they split it open. And she gets him to agree that there might be the teeny tiniest possibility that evolution is not true. And then Phoebe shows her true colors. She admonishes him for abandoning his whole belief system. And how can he face the other scientists? How can you face yourself? And Ross is flabbergasted by what just happened, leaves, and Phoebe turns to the girls and says,
"That was fun, so who's hungry?" So this is exhibit number 1 in my theory that Phoebe Buffay is not the ditzy ditz that she pretends to be. But underneath the surface of that beginner-grade guitar playing and that sheen of mystic woo-woo nonsense, she's a predator. She is someone skilled in the bizarre arts, not because she's quirky and innocent, but because she likes to weird people out. I know this because I, too, like to weird people out.
We have never once argued about evolution. Anyway, they decide to go to lunch, and Rachel goes to get her coat, and Monica swings on her jacket and knocks over the lamp. Mm-hmm. Rachel is so upset, and Phoebe cannot be a witness because she wasn't paying attention.
So I watched the instant replays several times. I cannot declare conclusively that broken lamp was an accident. Oh. It could have been, but Monica does seem awfully close to the lamp by pulling on her jacket. Deliberately close.
She seems innocent, like it legit was an accident.
Well, keep in mind that they already killed a man. Would taking out a lamp be outside the realm of possibility for these hoodlums?
The friend's story has taken a turn.
It's going to take many more turns as we go through the years.
So Chandler walks in, and Rachel tries to get him to lament about her lamp with her, but Chandler exclaims, "I'm going to die alone!" And she goes, "You win." Janice was his safety net, and now he has to get a snake, because if he's going to be an old lonely man, he's going to need a thing, and he'll get snakes and call them his babies, and kids will run from Crazy Snake Man. Monica says he won't be alone, and Chandler says, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Because he picks on anyone crazy enough to go out with him, and then bitches about the fact that there are no great women out there. And Rachel assures him he is just like every other guy out there. Mm-hmm. He's not a freak. He's just a guy.
Yeah.
And then there was a couple cut lines that were funny. So Rachel said one guy dumped her because his cat didn't like her.
Yeah.
And Phoebe says a guy dumped her because she fell asleep during Spinal Tap. And Chandler says,
"You fell asleep during Spinal Tap." Everybody go watch Spinal Tap. You won't like it, but it's terribly good.
You won't like it. It's funny.
It's one of those movies that when people watch it nowadays, they're like, "I don't understand why this is supposed to be funny." It's like the other one with Christopher Guest.
The Best in Show?
Yeah,
I love Best in Show.
I know, I love it too. But whenever anybody watches it, they're like, "It wasn't funny." It's hysterical, by the way.
It is. All right, so Rachel tells Monica that Teddy broke up with her because she was too fat. Mm-hmm. And Monica says, "He told me he broke up with me because he didn't have time because of the play."
Oh.
And Rachel says, "That's what I said."
Yeah, all guys do this. I mean, like, see, I can do it right now. Rachel Green, damaged goods. Phoebe Buffay, young earth creationist. Monica Geller, much like the Bing, I would probably date Monica Geller myself.
Monica says he's not like them. He's different.
In a bad way?
No, in a wonderful way. You know what you want? You're ready to take risks. You're vulnerable. Be intimate with someone. You called Janice. That's how much you wanted to be with somebody. You are ready to make a commitment. Whoa, not sure about that. And then he shakes it off.
All he had to do was drop the C word, commitment, and then woke him, snapped him right out of it. Whoa!
Could have saved 2 days worth of lamenting.
So we're at Mr. Heckles' apartment again. Mm-hmm. All the friends, minus the Chandler. And they're bagging up the last bits of Mr. Heckles' life. And Monica presents the naked Barbie clock to Rachel as a runner-up prize. And Rachel asks Mon if she's going to break it. But Monica wants Rachel to have this very last piece of old man junk to represent Rachel's contribution to their apartment. Buy something besides clothes, Rachel.
Right?
Come on. But then they discover it does a catcall whistle while grinding like a stripper.
That's fine.
Chandler enters announcing that he has a date with Allison from his office, whose main flaw was an unusually large head, but that's not stopping him now. No more petty imperfections for him. No. So as they're finishing up, Joey wants clarification on the recycling rules concerning yearbooks, but Chandler tells him that he'll take it. He thinks somebody should have it.
I thought that was sweet.
Yeah. Ooh, we should start looking for old weird yearbooks.
I bet they're out there.
Yeah, we should start doing that on the weekends. Look for old pictures. Like old photo albums would be pretty cool too. I'm getting into this now. Monica starts to get sentimental about the lovable goof, Mr. Heckles, but it all gets balanced out with her crotch getting magnified on that old TV magnifier thingy. And the friends all start giggling. She tells them they're going to hell. And Rachel says, it's not really that big. And I will refrain from doing Shane Black's jokes from Predator. I got chided for being too inappropriate last week.
Oh my God.
They carry out the garbage. Chandler lingers, picking up the broom and setting against the wall. And he says, goodbye, Mr. Heckles. We'll try to keep it down.
Aww. And then we're back at Central Perk. Chandler and what we presume is Allison. So Chandler is voiceover while he's looking at his date. And he goes, my God, that's a big head. He blames the lighting at work and says his head must look like a golf ball. He stops himself and says, list 5 things that he likes about her. Nice smile, good dresser.
Big head, big head, big head.
Maybe it was her hair and not the actual cranium.
Well, that's the end of the episode. We'll never know. Heed, move. Now that was offside, wasn't it? He'll be crying himself to sleep on his huge pillow. Sneak in a couple big head jokes from So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Cut and print. We're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back. Yes, she was smart. She was pretty, and she honestly cared about me. Janice is my last chance to have somebody.
Hello.
Oh my God.
Hey, it's everybody.
Janice, you're...
Yes, I am.
Is it...
Is it yours? Ha! You wish, Chandler Bing. You are looking at a married lady now.
Oh, yeah. Congratulations.
Oh, sweetie, I'm sorry.
You couldn't have told me this over the phone.
And what? Miss the expression on your face? Oh, no. Janice likes to have her fun.
And we're back.
We're back again.
So, what did we learn from this episode?
What did you learn, Joe?
Based on Allison, maybe Chandler is not picky. But I think sometimes you have to kiss a lot of toads to find the girl across the hall.
Aww.
And maybe your theory on Phoebes is right.
Maybe. I don't think so. I think we all know my theory is completely correct. No doubt about it. Well, I learned that Janice is loud during sex. But I may have been able to guess that if asked. None of them seems too upset that they killed a man.
Right?
And Joey, I think, honestly thinks now that it's supposedly.
Oh, what are your final thoughts?
It should have been revealed in season 10 that Janice was lying. And she had knowingly had a little bingling to keep all for herself. And they should have killed more people. That was fun.
I wonder what Joey did with that magnifying glass in his bedroom.
Oh, you know exactly what Joey did with that magnifying glass in his bedroom.
But making it bigger is not attractive.
Well, that's like your opinion, man.
And you did good keeping it together during the evolution parts. Mm-hmm. Although you made me record that entire section alone and added your uh-huh later.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Ha 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 ha. Uh-huh. Ha 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 ha. That person has certainly got him or herself into quite a predicament. I did them beforehand, so they would sound natural.
Oh, what's our sweater vest tracker?
0.
Oh, man.
Prayer count 0. Episode total 0. Season 2 count 0. Body count 1. More dead bodies than sweater vests so far this season.
Oh. Can't believe we have more body counts than sweater vests.
I know. It's tragic.
All right. So we're going to do a new segment.
What?
Yeah. We're going to start listener feedback and reviews.
That's right. We wanted to start this at the beginning of season 2, but we forgot about it. So we're starting it on episode 3 of season 2.
That's right, Adam.
That's right, Joe. Can you explain how this new segment will work?
Okay, so you spin the wheel of mayhem, you go up the ladder of chance, you go past the mud hut, through the rainbow ring, to get to the golden monkey, yank his tail.
No. Those are the rules for Bamboozled.
Wow.
This is simpler than that. We're just going to read the IMDb rating for the episode we are doing each week. For instance,
this episode, it was 8.2 out of 10 stars and nearly 6,000 reviews.
That's right. So then after that, no mud hut.
No mud hut.
We'll read a part or a complete IMDb review for the episode. And or, now this part concerns our listeners.
Pay attention.
We could read an episode review sent in by Maladjusted Misfit listener.
Oh my.
Yeah. Or if you'd like to write in and tell us how we are doing, we might read that too. Like this email we got this week from D. Yeager.
Dear Maladjusted Misfits, your theories are the worst kind of popular tripe. Your methods are sloppy. Your conclusions are highly questionable. You are a poor scientist, Dr. Venkman. Adam, this is from Ghostbusters.
I just wanted to give them an idea of what we expect, what we're looking for.
I don't want a bad review.
Fine. Anyway, so this week we're just going to read a review from IMDb.
Okay.
So this is from the actual site.
And this review is titled Matthew Perry's Finest Hour. Submitted by Anthony25.
And this was submitted in October of 2009. Quite a ways away ago.
Yes. I like their use of the first word, whilst.
Yes.
This episode. Whilst this episode is excellent and gives a glimpse of the overall brilliance of season 2, the main reason it stands out for me is the performance of Matthew Perry. Mm-hmm. I have to agree.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I imagine that at the time the series was probably a little too young for it to be recognized by the Emmy committee, but having watched it several times through TV reruns, it is clear to see that Perry puts in a wonderful sequence of beautifully acted scenes, which highlight Chandler at his achingly neurotic best. I love this review. This is so cool. You really feel like you go on a journey through his backstory and come to empathize with his current day status as loner to be, all in the space of less than 25 minutes. If retroactive Emmys were to be handed out, I would have no hesitation in nominating this episode as Perry's magnum opus. Oh. Wow.
They're willing to nominate it.
Yeah. Did they not see later in the season when he has that conversation with Erica? Because I think that is a phenomenal acting right there, but... That was a really good review.
Yeah, it really makes you think. I wonder what Aunt Holly 25 is up to all these years later.
Yeah, I wonder if he's a podcast listener.
I don't know. That's kind of what we're looking for.
Right.
If anybody wants to write in.
Right.
You know, like I said, we will continue to kind of crib from IMDb or other sites if we feel like it. But
yeah, tell us your thoughts on the episode, why you liked it, and we'll definitely read them on the podcast. So.
Okay, so next week.
Yes.
The one with Phoebe's husband. So.
Yes.
Phoebe married a straight gay ice dancer, Steve Zahn. Rachel begins her reign of sabotaging Ross's relationships.
Did you rate this?
Yes, this is mine. I always write the end ones.
Oh, I thought you took it from IMDb.
No.
I was like, wow, they feel like you do.
And bodily nubbins and roles in porno movies are revealed.
Nubbins. All right, are you ready for some maladjusted content?
Maladjusted content. Yes, I am.
All right. What'd you do this week? Nothing exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I worked on little things.
Yeah.
Little projects, but
Yeah, you have a lot of fun, creative things, and I get to work. Not that you don't work, but...
Are you implying not watching Our Chick and Duck aren't work?
Oh, believe me, they are work.
Instead of the boy kid and the girl kid, we should just start referring to them as the chick and the duck.
All right. So if you hear us call the chick and the duck, you know we're talking about the boy kid and the girl kid. But I would like to talk about the movie Best in Show.
Okay, because we brought it up earlier.
Yeah. And
I know you're itching to talk about it.
Yeah, and you talked about Spinal Tap, or This Is Spinal Tap.
Right.
Right.
Because that's what was mentioned in the episode.
Right.
You know, it's one of those comedy things that I love it, but not everybody else.
Right. And I don't know if it was because it's like one of those mockumentaries, so it's like filmed like a documentary, but it's making fun of documentaries, kind of. Well, it's a silly situation.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just format.
Both of them are like that.
Yeah, that's what The Office uses.
Yeah.
That's where kind of where The Office stole it from.
So when Best in Show came out,
Yeah.
we went to go see it in the theater, and we encouraged, 4 or 5 friends to go with us, right? People that we normally hung out with on a regular basis.
Right. We thought we had similar tastes in humor.
Yeah, we thought. So we're sitting in the theater, and there's probably us 6 or 7 people.
Yeah.
I don't remember how many. And then maybe 3 or 4 other people.
Right. It was a weekday evening.
Yeah. So it wasn't a super crowded theater. And Adam and I are just guffawing at this movie, like laugh out loud. And then we keep leaning forward and looking at the other people, and they're just looking at us going, what the fuck are you laughing at?
They all look like they want to leave, but they're kind of staring at us.
Right. And we are just hysterically laughing. Christopher Guest is in both of those, right? This is Spinal Tap and
Rob
Best in
Reiner
Show.
directed This Is Spinal Tap.
Right.
And then Christopher Guest did Best in Show.
Best in Show. So Best in Show is about a mockumentary of following people around that are going to this dog competition.
Right. They each have a little dog that's enrolled in the Mayflower
dog show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eugene Levy is one of the main characters.
Yeah.
So there's several different groupings that have dogs, right?
Yeah.
So Eugene Levy and his wife Cookie,
Yeah.
which is a hysterical name, played by Catherine O'Hara. Those two are inseparable.
Yeah.
And they have a terrier, right?
Yeah.
And they sing songs about this terrier.
Yeah.
And they're like, not extremely, but they're like in debt.
Yeah, they're in debt. They're regular people
Yeah.
in debt, and they have this dog, and they want to take it to the dog show.
So cute, too.
And Eugene Levy is a certified nerd, and Catherine O'Hara is a slut
who settled for the nerd.
but every guy she meets along the way,
Yes.
she has already slept with.
Yes. And they all talk about how nasty she is and making Eugene's character super uncomfortable.
Right.
So it's super funny.
But they're like one of the sets of dog owners. And then there's like Parker Posey and
Michael Hitchcock. They have a crazy Weimaraner.
Yeah.
And before we saw this movie, I kept telling Adam I wanted a Weimaraner, and he was like, "No, they're crazy."
They're crazy. They're
and then
crazy dogs.
we saw this movie, and they're crazy. And then Christopher Guest, who's the director, and he's also in it, has a bloodhound,
Right.
who's like the cutest dog, but he is like from Tennessee or something like.
Yeah.
I don't think they actually say, but he comes from a place.
They're all have their own little quirks, and he's kind of doing the dog show thing, and he kind of wants to be a ventriloquist.
Yeah.
So.
And then Michael McKean, who's also in This Is Spinal Tap,
Yes.
is in Best in Show. And he and John Michael Higgins play a couple, and they have a Shih Tzu that they've entered into this show.
Right.
And then there's a lot of people that guest starred on Friends that are in Best in Show. So Bob Bablan, who plays Phoebe's dad.
Phoebe's dad, yeah.
And then Jennifer Coolidge, who comes back as, what was her name?
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, but she's like
She's the British.
Yeah. Your name is Buva Montesi.
Come on my mobile.
And then Fred Willard. He's in Friends and also in this movie.
Yeah.
It also stars Jane Lynch and Ed Begley Jr. It's just really funny. So I'm not pushing it on you guys, but if you like, they're dry sense of humor movies too.
Yeah.
But I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
And we watch it not all the time, but we watch it periodically and we still crack up.
Yeah, it's a funny movie. I enjoyed it a lot.
It is. So that's another thing that we'll probably do throughout this podcast is we'll mention movies and stuff, and then we'll tell you to go watch them.
Well, that's normally what we do on the Maladjusted Moments.
Content, yeah.
Is tell you what we watched, and we just didn't happen to watch that recently. We just started talking about it.
But it was fun.
And then during one of our breaks, you were talking about wanting to talk about it more.
So there you are. Best in Show.
Best in Show.
Look it up. It's pretty funny. Anything else you want to talk about?
I don't think so.
All right.
Need to get this done so we can get it out for the listeners.
Okay. All right. If you would like your thoughts or reactions regarding future episodes, or you want to comment on your feelings of a particular episode to be shared with the rest of the class, or you just want to reach out and say, hey.
Come on, we want to hear from more of you misfits out there.
Be sure and email us at themaladjustedmisfits@gmail.com. Rate us and leave positive comments.
And if you have a negative comment like Dean Yeager, try to leave it in a more positive way than that.
Check us out on Facebook and Instagram. You can follow the links in the show notes. Our pages are called The One Where We Talk About Friends.
Joe, you ready for a cup of coffee?
Always. I mean, it's not like I'm asking for this girly clock or anything, which, by the way, I also think is really cool.